like you meet somebody on like the, well, just try to play along with me. So you know, like how, okay, well, y'all know how you typing with somebody
long distance.
You know how you talking with somebody on social media and stuff like that. And that person may not be in the same city as you.
No,
so
I've never. What's up, Team TNJ? We are back with another video. I know we promised you guys a video, 2 days ago, and we had some technical difficulties, so we couldn't release it.
No, we didn't have no technical difficulties. I'm not about to eat no baby food.
I'll call it technical difficulties. We tried to do the baby food challenge. Jarius ruined it. I was trying to cover up for him, but now you guys know the truth. So
I'm not eating.
We do have the video, but you guys don't want to see it because his attitude was terrible. But anyways, so
my attitude was not horrible. I'm not about to sit here and eat no baby food that I don't like. My taste buds are horrible. And
I released some clips so you guys can see and you guys can judge. But anyway, we released a poll on Instagram on what did you guys want to know? What did you guys want us to do? It was either a food challenge or coming out story. So coming out story won by like a landslide. So I don't know why you guys want us to know that.
Because they nosy.
I guess we
want them to be all over my business.
So why don't you start first? You came out before me, so.
Okay, so my coming out story starts when I think I was in like the 9th grade, I believe, and
so early.
I know. But anyway, so basically I was still trying to figure out what I was interested in and whether I was going to talk to guys or girls, and basically I was talking to this guy I was really interested in. I think he actually turned out to be like a catfish type of situation, but whatever, it's a good conversation. And we were long distance. I didn't want to talk to anyone in my hometown. Right, like you meet somebody on like well, just try to play along with me. So like how, okay, well, y'all know how you typing with somebody
long distance.
You know how you talking with somebody on social media and stuff like that. And that person may not be in the same city as you.
No,
so
I've never fell in love with conversation. Nope, not me.
Okay, well look, maybe somebody can relate to my story, so please let me explain. Okay, well you can move.
Go ahead.
So basically, I was conversing with someone who was a while away from me. Is that right?
Come on, what's your story? I'm bored.
And basically, this person left me a voicemail that said, hey, I haven't heard from you. I just wanted to let you know that I love you and I miss talking to you, blah, blah, blah.
You love this person, Jesus.
At this point, why are you so judgmental?
Okay, go ahead.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Anyway, back to my story. Basically, what had happened was my mom actually took my phone. I can't even remember why she took it. But anyway, she had took my phone trying to punish me for something. And I wasn't able to talk to him. So randomly one night, she just turned on my phone and saw that I had a voicemail and listened to it. I'm sitting in my room, just chilling. And then next thing you know, she's running out the room Jarius, who is this person that's telling you he loves you on the phone? Well, do you have something you want to tell me? And at this point, I was pissed. And she's watching this video, I'm sure. And I was really mad because to be honest with you, I'm just thinking to myself I'm bored. I could be sitting up here talking to him on the phone and stuff like this, and I'm missing important voicemails. And you up in here got the audacity to go through them. So I was I had a little brat moment. And I was just my boyfriend, now what? And
disrespectful child.
it wasn't. I didn't come off in a disrespectful way, but I was. Well, I guess I probably was a little disrespectful. But I was just like, come on, like you gonna take my phone and then go through my stuff, like.
Who paid the bill?
No, still like you act
I'm
like
just saying because I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't agree with like I pay the bill, my rules. I feel like you still should have a sense of privacy, but
yeah, like it wasn't like I was doing anything wrong. Like I was just kind of like trying to, explore around a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she just came out. She was like super mean about it, and I basically just was like, that's my boyfriend. So and she was just like speechless. She was like she didn't know what to say. So she was just like all she could do was like shake her head, and she went back in the room, and we just kind of like didn't talk about it for a while. And then when we really had the opportunity to sit down and address it, it was the following year. This is the part of the story that kind of sucks a little bit, but I'll keep it honest. So when it comes to my family and how they feel about it, eventually my mom like accepted me. That's my mom, like she's always gonna be there for me. But in terms of like the rest of my family, my grandmother, like, she doesn't really support it at all. Like, I think more than anything, like, she tolerates it. Like, she loves me as a person, but I think that with her finding out the truth about who I am, it kind of made our relationship take a turn for the worst, in my opinion, because I'm a person that feels like I don't want anyone like in my life that's going to like halfway support me. Like I don't want you to be around me if you're not number one going to accept Terrell, and then if you don't truly care about me as a person in terms of who I am and all of what that comes with. Like I'm married to Terrell now, and like you have to accept both of us, and I feel that that's been the real challenge with my family. So and then to like my dad has recently like popped up, and he knows now. I don't really communicate with him very much because my sister went through, like my sister is gay as well, and she went through a lot with coming out to him, and I just feel like it wasn't important for him to know. Like you wasn't really, there for me personally growing up, so it was just like, when he tried to pop up recently, it's just like, oh, like my son has a house now, like, my son is, he moved to Atlanta, he's doing well, he has a really good job and all this good stuff, and it's just like, I don't need you to be involved in anything that I have going on, to be honest with you. Like, I'm really good on that, but overall, like, the only person that I really cared about knowing was just my mom and just accepting me. And I think, like, it's kind of hard at first, but overall, like, she's come around, and I think that, especially now that we have kids, like, I think that she was able to see that, like, really none of it matters. Like, she just wants me to be happy. She loves Terrell. Like, she wants him to be happy. And, of course, she adores her grandkids. So, overall, like, I would just say coming out is never easy, but I feel like you should just always stick to your guns and just make sure that the people that are in your corner are truly in your corner, and don't settle for people half-ass loving you. And I don't even curse like that, but like just don't settle for people that's just gonna be there to, oh, like I love you, but I don't love that side of you, or I don't love that part of you. Like, no, either you gonna take me wholly for who I am, or you don't get none of me at all. And I just think that's where I'm at with my family.
I just think that that's so funny that you was like, oh, coming out is never easy, but yet you was adamant that I like spoke up on numerous occasions to our friend. Every time we had a little get together, it was, yeah, Terrell don't want to tell his mom. He don't want to do this.
First of all, why are you talking in that voice like I talk like that?
That's how I'm feeling. Okay. So my coming out story was completely different than Jarius's. So I was never that bold to just tell my mom like, oh, I'm with Jarius. So Jarius is the first guy that I've ever been with, and we were together as roommates for the longest. And I always just figured like, okay, well, this is my roommate. Like, I'm gonna just go with this. Well, we ended up being roommates at like we started from a four person, like 4 of us in the house. Mm-hmm. Then it was just us 2 for like 3 more years, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like I can't keep saying that he's a roommate.
Caroline.
So they kept pressuring me to tell her, and I read this book back in 2014.
What was the book?
I read this book back in 2014, and I was kind of inspired by it. And the next day, out of just nowhere, I was just sitting there, and I was just really in my feelings. And I just typed up this long text, like it was so long. And I tried to find it, but I can't find it. And I told her through text.
What else did you do?
Tell her I immediately, I told her in a text, and then, I turned my phone off and threw it under the bed. Granted, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She's in Lake Charles, so, it's not like she can come over. But that's just how I was feeling. I was just like, oh my goodness, I just did it.
The way my beautiful mother-in-law is, she probably would have.
And I did it. It cut my phone off and waited probably 45 minutes and was just like, I'm not about to cut that phone back on. I don't want, I know she's probably trying to call me, because that's how my mom is. She's going to call. And she probably did try to call. And so when I cut the phone back on, I saw 3 messages from her, and I'm just like, oh, what did I just do? And it was I was scared. And you were gone. You went to the store or something. I just did it, just out the blue. And I opened it. I was like, okay, she's 2 hours away. I could open the message. She's not gonna know I read it.
How old? Wait, this was in 20.
I was 21, 22.
Dang, just.
And so I opened the message, I read it, and she was so sweet. She was just she was mad that I didn't tell her sooner. She said she already knew, but she didn't know. She didn't know. She was like, oh, I already knew. I was just waiting on you to tell me, and nothing's ever going to come between our relationship. And I was just like, milk. So at this point, I'm just bawling now because I was so scared of reading it, and it was so sweet. So I just bust out crying. And I sent the message to Jarius, and he shared it with our friends. And she was like, but just so you know, I'm coming out there in 2 weeks. I was she was like, we need to have dinner and talk. So I was like, oh man, she's coming. But it was cool. I was so happy that I did it, and it feels like a weight was lifted. And then fast forward a year and a half later, we had moved to Atlanta, and our article came out in Wall Street Journal about us having our daughter. And I remember I was in training from my job. I was in training the morning that it came out, and actually we were in a hotel, and I saw the newspaper, and we were on it. We were on Wall Street Journal, and our story was in. I was like, all my classmates are gonna know. Nobody knows. I was like, somebody's gonna pick this up and see my name, and I'm here. And we received so many negative comments on the actual Wall Street website. Just hateful stuff, just hateful stuff.
The one I remember the most was somebody actually had the audacity to tell us that they hope that our entire family, including our unborn child, burns in hell. And
I think that lit a fire. I was in class, and I saw to see that I've never received anything like that, a hate threat or anything, because it was just our friends knew. And my mom knew, and Jari's mom knew, so it was nothing outsiders could really tell us. And to see that and about our child, I think that it was just really emotional for me.
That brings back emotions, actually.
it was just real emotional. And like I wrote a post and was like, you know, like I was real skeptical about doing this. You know, I wasn't gonna say anything, but the fact that, you know, somebody can say this, like, here's who I am, here's my family, and like I'm proud of it. And you know, like if you can't support that, then like I respect your opinion, and you know, like I'll just have to love you from a distance. And I think that you know, that was like relieving too. Like we were like welcomed with nothing but love from that aspect. Like I just felt like, you know, it had to be said at that point. But it was definitely like super emotional to do that, and to come out on Facebook and open yourself up, because that's what you're doing. You're opening yourself up to being the talk of the city, like, you know, just knowing in the back of your head, like people are probably screenshotting it, sharing it, sending it to people. And it was a lot, but I think that that was like one of the best things I ever did. Like, you know, just being myself and being free, and definitely not being ashamed of my child or, you know, like my family. It was just a lot. Like, I don't know why I'm so emotional, because...
No, I'm about to get emotional too. Because I just think that, like, it's super hard for us to be, like, perceived by people in the way that we truly are. And what I mean by that is, like, we're just regular people. Like, we are just like everybody else, but it's a difference because we're gay. And I think that it just sucks sometimes that, like, you kind of like the oddball out sometimes. And I just think that that's why we do this. That's why we make these videos. Like, that's why we try our best to put out and portray the image that we do, because, you know, like, it's such a negative stigma with, like, being gay and raising kids, like, or same-sex couples, like, raising kids. And it's just like, we treat our kids like anybody else. Like, you know,
if not better. I just feel like
right.
That's a lot of what comes with being gay is other people's thoughts that don't matter. Like, to worry about what goes on in somebody's bedroom, like, that's not your business.
Right.
Like, you know, and I feel like people put so much emphasis on that. Like comments that we get today, like, are you literally visualizing us, like, what we do in the room? Like, I feel like I don't do that to just a random person that I don't know. So I feel like to do that just because we're gay, like, you're trying to figure out how this happens, like, I feel like that's disrespectful, first of all, and it's assumptive. Like, it's not your concern. And I feel like that's where a lot of it comes from. A lot of people's families feel like, oh my goodness, my child's gay, like, I'm never going to be a grandmother. Like, that's not true. Like, it's so much in the world that you can do, whether it be from surrogacy, adoption. Like, you can still be a grandmother or a grandfather. It's just a lot of unnecessary stuff that stops people from actually being who they are, because they have so much pressure from their families. And I just feel like I like the fact that we can say we're able to do that. Like, we're not breaking barriers, but not falling into...
We're not just falling in line, like, but more importantly, the message that we want to convey to you guys is that you should always put a value on yourself, always be authentic with yourself, and never accept anything less than what you deserve. And that goes from friends, family, co-workers, everything. Always just make sure that you realize, like, what your worth is and what you bring to the table, and never let anyone, like, give you less than what your worth is. That's an opinion, but
that's what I would say. I would say other people are going to have their opinions. I don't believe in trying to convince other people otherwise. I don't try to sway. I feel like we do a good job. We don't try to sway people's mind. You feel how you feel. If your heart changes for whatever reason, you know, by seeing how positive we are, then that's great. If it doesn't, I feel like you can choose who you are surrounded by, and you don't have to, you know, take negative energy from anyone just because they're family, just because they're long friends. You know, you don't have to do all that. And in regards to family members, I think that that's important, because family is supposed to, you can expect comments from strangers, from whoever else, but I feel like family is supposed to be your number one supporters. And I feel like when you don't have that,
it sucks.
It sucks.
Because you already have like the world against you and making your comments, and like you should at the very least have your family to be there to encourage you and to support you. And when you don't have that, like you feel like you by yourself, like you don't have anyone in your corner. And we are very grateful that for the most part, like all of like our family has been like super supportive of us, and like especially like your family as well, like have been like super amazing towards us and stuff like that. So
that's our coming out story. I know it was kind of long, but
I know they asked for long videos. So.
it was a lot to tell. So
we want to know your coming out story.
Yeah.
So make sure like if you feel comfortable to like leave it in a comment. Like you never know how your story
and
can
DM
help
us.
someone
You can
else.
email us. Like I feel like we respond. We're not people who just don't respond.
Like engage with us. Let us know. Like we would love to hear from you guys, and definitely make sure you DM us like what you want to hear next and what you want us to talk about. Is probably going to be a challenge.
Probably no food challenges. So we can do like, I'm not gonna tell you what you can do, but what I'll tell you is I have to warm him up to food challenges. So just be patient with us, but we got them coming. But make sure you give this video a thumbs up, comment, like we said, subscribe, share, turn on your post notifications so you know when we're dropping videos. We're gonna do some more frequently. We got a little bit of free time, so we want to show you guys some love. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.